Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions.
Namaste y bienvenidos, amados poderosos compañeros.
Thank you for joining this evening
Gracias por unirse esta noche.
so we can all hear what Jesus has to say about miracle impulses.
Para que todos escuchemos lo que tiene que decir Jesús acerca de los impulsos milagrosos.
You know what he says about miracle impulses?
¿Saben qué dice acerca de los impulsos milagrosos?
Happiness.
Felicidad.
That's the one message. He's going to try to whisper in our ear.
Y este es el mensaje, felicidad. Y él trata de susurrárnoslo en los oídos.
And then everything else is a play in consciousness not to have that.
Y lo demás es un juego en la conciencia para no tener eso.
And to see how we just, within the dreaming of the play, it's exactly designed not to see happiness. It's
Y para ver en el sueño que tenemos el deseo de no ver la felicidad.
like how much effort, because the world is about effort. Oh, I have to work hard for this and work hard for that.
Entonces, porque el mundo es esfuerzo, entonces tengo que trabajar fuertemente por esto o tengo que trabajar fuertemente por aquello.
But all that is working hard not to see what we are.
Y todo lo que estamos haciendo es trabajando fuerte por no ver quiénes somos.
Yeah. So check in with them. Jesus, is that what all the effort is? Not to see what I am?
Y chequemos con Jesús. Jesús, estamos esforzándonos para no ver lo que somos, lo que somos.
I just heard a C over there.
Escucho un sí por allá.
Oh, Lina, I love it.
Lina.
It's so great when it, it's so great because we'll be looking at Azar and Lina sees it and she goes, I love it. And it's just so beautiful.
Cuando vemos deseos, Lina dice, I love it.
We have to,
Lo amo con mucha fuerza.
it is the happiest news when you see how much is wanted and that when it goes deep enough with Jesus where you see this need not be.
Y tenemos que ver cuánto lo amamos y luego ver con Jesús que no tiene por qué ser así.
This need not be.
Eso no tiene por qué ser así.
So are we going to let him show us that this need not be?
Entonces vamos a dejar que él nos muestre que eso no tiene por qué ser así.
Let's see if we can have this need not be.
Vamos a ver si podemos tener no tiene por qué ser así.
Because that's what we're always insisting. We're fighting him over saying, no, this has to be. This world has to be.
Y porque eso es lo que estamos peleando, insistiendo que este mundo tiene que ser así.
I have to be right about this world, Jesus.
Tengo que estar en lo correcto acerca de este mundo, Jesús.
I have to be right that I can't have a miracle right now.
Tengo que estar en lo correcto de creer que no puedo obtener un milagro ahora.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. We're so funny. I can't be infinite. No way.
Esto es muy divertido. No puedo ser infinito. No hay manera.
Yeah, I kind of see that holy instant thing, that light thing, but it's not me.
Puedo ver el instante central, pero eso no soy yo.
So, last time we started off on a PowerPoint presentation and
La vez pasada estuvimos mirando la presentación de
it's
PowerPoint.
got his little legs crossed. So we start off on a PowerPoint. We're going to keep going. He has some more things to say with technology.
Bueno, entonces vamos a mirar más con tecnología. Vamos a continuar con
So he's saying go for it. So we're
dice
going for it.
Que vayamos por ello, dice. Porque hay más por decir.
Okay, I'm sharing. What am I sharing? I am sharing PowerPoint.
Estoy compartiendo PowerPoint.
Okay. Woohoo! Here we go, Jesus.
Aquí vamos, Jesús.
Everybody got their seatbelts on?
Todos tienen ya sus cinturones puestos.
Okay, there we go.
Aquí vamos.
Gonna shut down a few things so everybody can see this.
Voy a tener que
Oh, well,
cerrar
I guess
unas cosas
I'm not.
para poder-
Okay, here we go. Yay.
Just one thing. Can you hear me?
Yep. What, Renee?
I can't hear Maria all that well. It sounds like she doesn't have a speaker or something.
Okay,
I
hold
don't
on,
know. I
hold
just
on,
can't
hold
hear
on.
Maria all that well.
Okay. Okay, try that. Try that. Is that better?
Okay. Can you hear me, Renee?
Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Okay. And can you still hear me well enough?
Yes.
¿Y me puedes escuchar a mí también suficientemente bien?
Okay, thanks for letting us know these essential things.
Gracias por decirnos esta cosa esencial.
Okay, so this is our function.
Esta es nuestra función.
Your function is to know exactly what a miracle impulse is.
Y nuestra función es saber qué son los milagros.
But first, you have to see how much you do not want to know what a miracle impulse is.
Pero lo primero que tienes que darte cuenta es cuánto no quieres los impulsos milagrosos.
Okay, so we're
Saber qué son los impulsos milagrosos.
going to look at that with Jesus.
Vamos a mirar esto con Jesús.
Oh, that thing spins. Very little dynamic action. Okay. So we went through these desires and we looked at these last time a little bit. I'm going to go through it rather quickly on the desires. So hold on.
Entonces vamos a ir con esto de los deseos. Vamos a nuevamente ir rápidamente con esto.
But it's good to be reminded of the holy instant.
Es importante recordar el instante santo.
But you can ask Jesus, am I the holy instant?
Jesús, ¿soy el instante santo?
Do I want to see that I'm a holy instant?
Quiero ver que soy el instante santo.
And laugh when he says no, and then start talking to him.
Y te ríes cuando te das cuenta que así lo quieres.
So we'll put the link to the full video on this when we extend this out. We'll put it in YouTube and we'll put it on when we go out to Facebook with this.
Entonces lo voy a publicar este video en YouTube y en Facebook.
Okay. So remember, it's light and there's a bubble. It's a dream bubble of desire not to be innocent.
Entonces está la luz y luego está la burbuja del sueño de no querer ser inocente.
And then all that energy, once desire is bloomed, it all pours inward to prove that God is dead.
Y toda esta energía que ponemos es para probar que Dios está muerto.
And it's all heading toward going, oh, I feel something. This must be real. It's real because I feel it.
Entonces es el juego de siento algo, entonces debe ser real porque lo estoy sintiendo.
And then the consciousness staples itself to change, the change to identify itself.
Y entonces la conciencia juega a mantener
the light staples the consciousness staples itself to change to try to prove this is me. Ta-da, I changed.
La conciencia trata de mantener el cambio y decir, mira, sí, yo cambié.
I change, I die.
Entonces yo cambié, mira,
I'm
yo muero.
I'm attacked.
Soy atacado.
I got a scratch on my skin.
Tengo una rasguño en mi piel.
God hates me, all that stuff.
Dios me odia.
So here's perception.
Esa es la percepción.
Okay. Oh, let's see if we can just move through this. So this is the crazy dream bubble. And we know the solution occurs at the level of desire, miracles.
Entonces, esta es la burbuja del sueño. Y los milagros están al nivel de los deseos.
And he gives us honesty of God. This is essential. If you want to know what a miracle impulse is, you got to have honesty of God.
Entonces, él nos ha dado la honestidad de Dios. Y si quieres ver qué son los impulsos milagrosos, tienes que saber qué es la honestidad de Dios.
Because this entire dream bubble is dishonesty.
Porque toda la burbuja es deshonestidad.
Okay. So it's admitting all we're doing is we're following the Course in Miracles to the letter.
Entonces nosotros estamos siguiendo el curso de milagros letra a letra.
Here is the letter. I do not know the reason I'm upset.
Entonces no sé la razón por la cual estoy molesta.
Okay. I'm going to admit that I have a desire for something that is not peace. I'm going to admit it.
Voy a admitir que hay algo que no quiero estar en paz.
And since I don't know the reason I'm upset, Jesus, I'm going to let you show me.
Entonces, como no sé la razón por la cual estoy molesto, te voy a permitir, Jesús, que me muestres.
Jesus, I am not going to invest any time telling you a story why I can't be holy now.
Y entonces no voy a contarte ninguna historia de por qué no puedo ser santo ahora.
I'm going to listen to you.
Te voy a escuchar.
Okay. And then accept the miracle.
Y luego acepta el milagro.
Anything else is fighting the miracle.
Cualquier otra cosa es pelear con el milagro.
So it's willingness to be shown. That's our function. Like Lorrie does the W. That's us.
Entonces, como la voluntad es nuestra función, como lo dice Lorrie, es WWW.
So we know the light circles are about learning to be shown, to be willing to be coached directly by Jesus to these desires so we can release them to a miracle, change our mind.
Entonces, vamos a ser entrenados directamente por Jesús para mirar estos deseos y liberar nuestra mente y cambiar cambiar nuestra mentalidad.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at this in the context of a miracle impulse.
Vamos a mirar esto en el contexto de los impulsos milagrosos.
Okay, so we talked about last time that miracle impulses is just their unending natural expressions of love. It's a loop. Think of it as a loop, like a gold band of getting married. It's a celebration and reminder of unending love.
Esto es un bucle, como el anillo de matrimonio que recuerda el amor infinito, el que no tiene final.
Okay, it's what marriage is trying to symbolize, but we have to see it goes beyond marriage.
Pero esto es lo que trata de simbolizar el matrimonio, pero esto va más allá del milagro, del matrimonio.
In order to see this, you have to transcend time and space. You have to be willing to look beyond form.
Entonces tienes que trascender el tiempo y el espacio para ver esto. Tienes que ir más allá de la forma.
It's acceptance of the highest rung of the ladder, the song. This is the unending song of prayer.
Esta es la el canto a la oración.
Okay, so now let's talk about, so how do we send ourselves directly to hell by choice?
Entonces, ¿cómo nos vamos directo al infierno a través de la elección?
Well, we talked about the outside of that dream bubble, those desires to dive into the bubble.
Entonces, vemos los deseos que nos sumergen en la burbuja.
So here comes a dream impulse, a miracle impulse.
Entonces,
it's
aquí
rising.
viene el impulso milagroso.
Now, these are symbolic, but it's rising up. And the desires are designed to block the awareness of the natural flow of miracles. And miracles are natural.
Y quiere bloquear estos impulsos milagrosos que son naturales.
You know, in consciousness, they're searching for a perpetual energy machine.
En la conciencia estamos buscando por una perpetua máquina.
Here it is, right here, perpetual love.
Y miren aquí, el perpetuo amor.
Okay. But no, I'm going to squeeze that off. I'm going to shut off the sphincter, the miracle sphincter, and shut myself off from all these miracle impulses and go sideways.
Y entonces voy a cerrar todos estos impulsos milagrosos y me voy a ir por los laterales.
It's a decision, desire to dream something other than God. Okay, there we go, dive in the bubble.
Entonces es un deseo por algo más que Dios y nos lanzamos a la burbuja.
Surely the tiny mat idea is so much of a better idea. It's a better deal than going and having a miracle, just perpetual miracles.
Entonces, esta es la pequeña alocada idea y que dice que no podemos tener los milagros perpetuos.
Okay, so here we go.
Aquí vamos.
This can be considered the highway to heaven as your miracle impulses.
Entonces, esta es la autopista de los milagros, de los impulsos milagrosos.
Okay, the highway to hell exit.
Y entonces está la autopista de salida al infierno.
Is going sideways on blocking miracles and saying no.
Es ir por los laterales diciendo no al milagro.
And all the reasons why you can't have one now.
Y todas las razones por las cuales no puedes tener uno ahora mismo.
But it's not that you can't have one, it's that you won't accept one.
No es que no puedas tener uno, es que no quieres tener uno.
There's nothing that you're going to do
No,
that's going to change this loop. This loop engine is running. It's perpetual.
Bucle es perpetuo, es una energía perpetua.
Okay.
Y no hay nada que tú puedas hacer para pararlo.
Okay, but through the addiction to consciousness, addiction to pain and suffering,
A través de la adicción, del dolor
Okay.
y el sufrimiento,
we go sideways. We call it here, you're going sideways.
entonces
Okay?
nos vamos por los laterales.
So if you'll hear that term, you'll know you're choosing something other than heaven, going
Y-
sideways.
Entonces te estás yendo por los laterales, te estás yendo a la burbuja.
So the only way this little engine this little sideways play can work to dive into the bubble
La única manera que esto pueda lanzarnos a la burbuja
is to actually make miracle impulses look like hell.
es hacer que los impulsos milagrosos sean el infierno.
And then to make the exit, the highway to hell exit and pretend that's heaven.
Y hacer que la autopista al infierno sea el cielo.
So then over here, it looks like hell.
Y esto como parece que es el cielo.
God's going to get me, he's going to punish me.
El infierno, Dios me va a castigar.
I'm going to lose something if I take that highway. I better exit.
Me va a quitar algo, voy a perder algo, entonces mejor tomo la autopista de salida.
Fire, skull and crossbones, total annihilation.
Toda una eliminación completa.
If you're going to see this, you must be willing to have him show it to you.
Entonces, en esos momentos tienes que dejar que se te sea mostrado.
And the only thing you're going to see is just a bunch of nothing over here.
Y lo que vas a encontrar es un montón de nada.
Okay. And then it has to make denying miracles. It's misperceived. I can get heaven over on this side. Somewhere heaven is in form, somewhere in there.
En algún lugar de la forma voy a encontrar el cielo.
Okay. So it's, it's nice little cherub over here. I'm going to hang out over here and avoid. So it avoids heaven and relishes hell.
Y entonces es evadir el cielo y disfrutar el infierno.
But deep in the dream, there's no perception of that.
Pero profundo en el sueño no hay percepción de eso.
Because the perception is that something outside, like a God, is out to get me, or a brother's out to get me.
Porque en la burbuja parece que es que Dios me va a atrapar o mi hermano me va a hacer algo.
Or a serial killer, whoever's out there, you people out there.
Tú o gente afuera.
This world would be a happy place of work for all these people here.
Y este mundo sería feliz si no estuviera toda esta gente aquí.
And they're screwing up the world by throwing away trash and, that is the highway to hell right there.
Entonces esa es la vía al infierno.
So judgment is the highway to hell. That's going, I'm just going to judge and I'm going to decide.
Entonces el juicio es irnos por la autopista del infierno.
So what's the way back?
¿Cuál es la vía de regreso entonces?
So heaven and hell are now completely flipped upside down in the mind.
Hoy la mente está totalmente invertida en el cielo y el infierno.
Following Jesus, perceived as hell.
Seguir a Jesús lo percibimos como el infierno.
Come on, Jesus, hang with me on this.
Jesús,
Okay. So following Jesus, this is perceived as hell now.
Ahora percibimos que seguir a Jesús es el infierno.
Talking about Jesus is perceived as hell for some.
Para algunos hablar
For me.
para algunos hablar de Dios es el infierno.
Oh, better not tell my mom I can hear Jesus, that's for sure.
No, mejor no le digo a mi mamá que yo escucho a Jesús.
What will
Seguro.
my friends think if they hear that I'm talking to Jesus? Oh.
Que eran mis amigos si yo digo que estoy escuchando a Jesús.
Then when you see he's the way out, that's all you want to talk about.
Y cuando te das cuenta que esa es la vía de salida, entonces vas a comenzar a hablar.
So here Jesus is right from the course, right here. Tension is the result of building up of unexpressed miracle impulses.
Entonces directamente Jesús del curso.
So that tension is perceived by you by sensory experience.
Entonces esa tensión la experimentas tú a través de las experiencias sensoriales.
And the ego goes, no, the problem is I didn't get enough sleep last night.
Y el ego va a decir, no, el problema es que no pude dormir suficientemente anoche.
The problem is I ate something and it made me feel sick.
El problema es que me comí algo y me está haciendo sentir enfermo.
No, it's one thing, unexpressed.
Solo es una cosa.
It's one thing, unexpressed miracle impulses.
Son los milagros no expresados.
Jesus, is that correct? Ask
¿Eso
them.
es correcto? Pregunta.
You can talk to him.
Tú puedes preguntarle.
Look, any course student that has not talked to him about A Course in Miracles is not a course student.
Un estudiante de un curso de milagros que no hable directamente con Jesús acerca del curso no es un estudiante.
You can have a direct conversation. Tell me about every line.
Tú puedes tener una directa conversación.
Okay.
Puedes mostrarme cada línea del curso.
That is what a new covenant is for you to have a line by line. Tell me about this, Jesus.
Entonces, para eso es que es Jesús un nuevo convenio, para que me diga Jesús, dime línea a línea.
So talk to the one that wrote the book, and then he'll tell you what everything means.
Y para que mires con el que dictó el curso y para que te dé el significado de cada cosa.
But without being coached directly by him at where you're blocking the miracle drive.
Y entonces, pero sin hablar con él, estás bloqueando la vía a los milagros.
Okay, you're blocking those impulses.
Estás bloqueando estos impulsos.
This can be truly abated only by releasing the miracle drive, which has been blocked.
Y únicamente se lo ve cuando vemos que hemos bloqueado esta vía.
Which is the awareness of this unending loop of love.
Que es la conciencia de este amor que no tiene final.
Which is experienced as joy, just joy.
Que es experimentado como gozo.
Okay. Gozo. So now, in order to keep this little game going, we look for proof within here that heaven is here, yet we're proving all the time that God is dead inside.
Y entonces, para evitar esto, creemos que podemos que el mundo es el cielo y que what about the last part?
We're looking around in the bubble to prove God is dead.
Entonces buscamos en la burbuja la prueba de que Dios está muerto.
So this is one big mess down here. It's just a cluster, and we need Jesus to show us how to get out of there.
Y necesitamos a Jesús para que nos muestre cómo salir de esto.
And the deeper you go into the mind, the experience here is the more I wanted his help. I was like grateful for it. I saw that I just.
Y entonces, entre más profundo vas, te das cuenta cuánto quieres el infierno.
I knew I wasn't getting out without him then.
Y no podría estar aquí sin él.
Because he sees the big picture, so he can tell me every place in my mind where all the little hell pockets are.
Entonces, porque él tiene toda la imagen completa y me puede mostrar esos pequeños bolsillos en mi mente.
Okay, so we're going to emphasize this again because he's emphasizing it.
Entonces vamos a enfatizar aquí nuevamente porque él está enfatizando.
This is from Principles of Miracles.
Esto es de los principios de los milagros.
This can be truly abated only by releasing the miracle drive which has been blocked, this tension.
Esto se libre,
the tension, subconscious tension can only be released by releasing the miracle drive.
Which principle is? Which principle?
It's from the Principles of Miracles, chapter 1.
Es del capítulo 1 de los milagros. Esto, I don't have the book here.
You don't need the book, just ask Jesus. He's going to tell you what to say. This can be truly abated only by releasing the miracle drive which has been blocked.
Esto es para liberar de todos los bloqueos de los bloqueos a los milagros.
Okay. Converting it
convirtiéndolo.
to sexual libido merely produces further blocking.
Producción de los impulsos sexuales que únicamente producen más bloqueos.
Okay. Never foster this illusion in yourself or encourage it in others. Never foster this illusion in yourself or encourage it in others.
No, nunca ves esto ilusión en ti o lo verás en los demás, algo así. No, no tengo una expresión completa.
You won't need, that's the only quote out of the book.
Okay.
Okay. Jesus is emphasizing, he says that sexuality is something a course student must understand.
Entonces Jesús dice que la sexualidad es algo que los estudiantes del curso deben entender.
Because it's sideways, it's blocking the miracle impulses.
Porque son salidas para bloquear los impulsos milagrosos.
You know, and anyone knows when I've talked about chapter 9 of Jesus' New Covenant, where he's telling me, you know, all about sexuality.
Y Jesús en el capítulo 9 nos habla en Jesús un nuevo convenio de la sexualidad.
I tried every way to talk him out of that.
Yo traté de evadir todo ese tema.
Bodies cannot join.
Los cuerpos no se pueden unir.
Okay, it's sideways. It's just sideways on miracle impulses.
Son irse por los laterales en los impulsos milagrosos.
Okay, and there are many teachers that talk about, you know, it's fun. No, he does not give those assignments. It's rare.
Es muy raro que te den esas asignaciones.
Because he says bodies cannot join. Why would he give that kind of assignment? No.
Entonces, si estos son,
He just, bodies cannot join. You talk to him about it.
Mira, los cuerpos no se pueden unir. Puedes hablar tú con él. Entonces, ¿cómo va a poder poner una asignación de unión de cuerpos a los estudiantes del curso?
He's not making anything wrong in form.
No está haciendo nada equivocado en la forma.
He's just giving the fastest way to see true identity.
Él nos está dando la vía más rápida de ver la verdadera identidad.
Is his way.
Es su camino, su vía.
And he knows what kinds of things in consciousness that consciousness uses to deny the miracle impulse and miracles.
Entonces, porque él sabe cuánto la conciencia utiliza este sueño para cohibir los impulsos milagrosos.
And once you see what a miracle impulse is, you're not going to turn it over for anything.
Y cuando te des cuenta que son los impulsos milagrosos, no vas a
You just see
volver a no querer nada más que esto.
Blow your doors off on that one when you see what a miracle impulse really is and what a miracle really is.
Y cuando te das cuenta lo que son los impulsos milagrosos, no vas a querer volver.
You know, I just accepted miracles and all this for years and never really, you know, what is a miracle really?
Y yo acepté muchos milagros, pero en verdad no sabía qué era el milagro.
And I'd hear all these kinds of pat answers like, you know, it's a change in perception.
Y bueno, y escuchaba estas frases como, esto es un cambio de percepción.
But when if you really saw what a miracle was, you'd never turn one down.
Pero si tú supieras que es un milagro, en verdad nunca volverías.
So if there's any delay in a correction, you can be sure you do not know what a miracle is. 100% sure.
Estoy 100% segura que si hay un retraso en los milagros es que no sabes qué es el milagro.
Because you just would, I mean, there's just no way, you know?
Es porque no hay vuelta.
It's expression of all the love of the Father. You'd never turn that down if you really, but in the dream, we can't see, it's made to obscure seeing that.
Porque es toda la aceptación del amor del Padre, pero en el sueño no puedes ver esto.
Yes, it's a celebration when you accept a miracle.
Y es la celebración cuando aceptas el milagro.
But you're accepting what's natural to you. You're celebrating all the time and then hiding it out of your awareness.
Quieres mantener fuera de tu conciencia.
Okay, so face of innocence
Entonces la cara de inocencia,
is refusing to admit that you have chosen delusion.
entonces es querer negar que tú has escogido la ilusión.
Okay. And it's refusing to admit you have the power to dispel it by accepting a miracle.
Y rehusarte a aceptar que tienes el poder de disiparla,
To
aceptando el milagro.
To change your mind that delusion has value.
De cambiar tu mente de que la ilusión tiene valor.
So the first step is
Así que el primer paso
to see that this little cherub right here has little devil's horns in it.
y entonces darte cuenta que este pequeño es un diablillo que tiene cachos.
Okay. And it's so helpful to have him show you in your mind where you have heaven and hell confused.
Y dejar que él te muestre cómo tienes cambiado el cielo y el infierno, invertidos.
And you can ask him now, does supreme happiness depend on me having you show me where I have heaven and hell confused in my mind?
Entonces, la suprema felicidad viene de que tú me muestres dónde tengo invertido el cielo y el infierno.
That I'm
Evidente.
making a choice to experience hell.
Que he tomado la decisión de experimentar el infierno.
Okay, that I'm relishing having an experience of time and choice and death.
Que he disfrutado la experiencia, la elección que he elegido la
And
muerte.
going, okay, no miracle for me.
Entonces, no hay milagro para mí.
Meanwhile, you're swimming like this. You couldn't swim away from this miracle. They're just here.
Entonces,
can't
tú
swim
no
away.
puedes nadar para ocultarte el milagro.
Jesus, even if I want to, could I get away from miracle impulses? Ask him. Yes or no?
Incluso si yo quiera irme lejos de los impulsos milagrosos,
But can I dream and pretend like I don't know what they are?
puedo soñar y creer que no sé qué son los impulsos milagrosos
And pretend like miracles are not valuable to me.
y que pretender que los milagros no son valiosos para mí.
So now we get his help to take us into the subconscious mind, to coach us and go, okay, show me the delusion, Jesus.
Y entonces tenemos ahora a Jesús para que nos entrene directamente y nos muestre en la ilusión y le decimos, muéstrame Jesús.
So that is where we have to be 100% clear on his function and our function.
Por eso ahí es donde tenemos que estar 100% claros en su función y en nuestra función.
So here's our function. We start with the W.
Entonces comenzamos con la W y aquí comienza nuestra función.
Our function is willingness to be shown the misperception
Voluntad para que nos muestre la percepción falsa
by Jesus that
por Jesús.
where we have heaven and hell flipped in the mind,
Donde tenemos invertido el cielo y el infierno en la mente.
where we're denying ourselves the miracles.
Donde estamos negándonos a nosotros los milagros.
See, now this is the key right here.
Esa es la clave aquí.
Then is your function to admit you have all the power to cease to value misperception.
Y entonces ahí entra tú donde say it again, please.
You have to admit you have all the power to cease to value misperception.
Entonces que tú tienes el poder de dejarte negar esta percepción falsa.
That's what he means. I'm willing for you to see this differently, to see that the misperception is not valuable.
Entonces ver que la creación falsa no es valiosa, que tienes el poder de ver que la creación falsa no es valiosa.
That I think the treasure is in the world.
De creer que los tesoros son del mundo.
And you know, these light circles have been so helpful because it's just joining with Jesus and having you show you we call it secondary gain, the gain that you think you're getting from playing the hell game.
Y entonces ha sido esto muy útil que Jesús en los círculos de luz nos muestre los juegos secundarios, que es lo que obtenemos de los deseos.
So what's Jesus's function?
¿Qué es la función de Jesús?
Jesus's function is to reveal the hidden denial to you so that you can cease to value it.
Entonces, la función de Jesús es mostrarnos los deseos y revelarnos revelárnoslos de tal manera que nosotros dejemos de valorarlos.
See, we think it's his job to make a better world for us,
Y nosotros creemos que el trabajo de Jesús es hacer un mejor mundo para nosotros,
to make a world we're going to like better.
de hacer un mundo donde vivamos mejor.
No, his function is to provide guidance for you, to show you the places in your mind where you have the world upside down.
Y la tarea de él es mostrarte en tu mente dónde está invertido el cielo y el infierno.
Where am I blocking the awareness of those miracle impulses that are natural to me?
¿Dónde estoy bloqueando estos impulsos milagrosos que son naturales para mí?
Where am I choosing what's unnatural to me?
¿Dónde estoy escogiendo que es lo que es y no es natural para mí?
So we bring the W, the willingness,
Entonces nosotros traemos la W, que es voluntad en inglés, para nosotros sería la
willingness to be shown.
la voluntad de que nos sea mostrado,
And the way he shows it,
y en la manera que él nos muestra,
well, one way is through the light circles where you're learning to be coached into your mind for him to show you.
y una forma es a través de los círculos de luz donde Jesús te entrena para ver esto en los.
So you deepen your relationship with your voice for God.
Y entonces tú profundizas en tu relación con la voz de Dios.
And by releasing those desires, the less desires you have, the desires are the upside down world.
Entonces, para que liberes estos deseos y entre menos deseos tengas estos deseos de invertir el mundo, el cielo y el infierno.
So the other way that he reveals to you in your willingness is through guidance.
Y la otra forma como él te revela de acuerdo a tu voluntad es a través de la guía.
Guidance is not about doing something, it's about seeing something.
La guía no es acerca de hacer algo, sino de ver algo.
So you have to accept guidance so he can show you something.
Entonces tú tienes que aceptar la guía para que te muestre algo.
But the ego is going to go, oh my gosh, Jesus is going to make me do something I don't want to do.
Y entonces el ego va a decir, Jesús me va a hacer algo que yo no quiero hacer.
That's the voice up here going, he's going to make me do something I don't want to do.
Esa es la voz que escuchamos. No quiero, me va a hacer algo que no quiero hacer.
The ego's saying that, but it's really saying, holy crap, if I do this, I'm going to see something I don't want to see.
Pero eso es lo que va a mostrar el ego, pero realmente es no quiero ver algo que debo ver.
So it's all about seeing. He uses doing because he knows we believe in doing.
Él utiliza el hacer porque nosotros creemos en el hacer.
And there are going to be things that he's going to ask you to do that you're not going to go, oh, this is fabulous. A lot of them.
Hay muchísimas cosas que no vas a decir, yuhu, que bueno esto, sino
Okay.
simplemente vas a sentir la resistencia.
Because of the illusion that happiness is down in this dream bubble.
Porque en la ilusión creemos que la felicidad está en la burbuja.
And the ego's going, oh, no, skull and crossbones, it's going to take something away from me if I come over here.
Y entonces si yo voy aquí arriba, van a salir huesos y va a salir muchas cosas que no quiero ver.
So that's where the trust comes in. You have to have more faith in yourself of what God made.
Y por eso es que tienes que confiar en lo que ha hecho Dios en tu ser.
You have to have more faith in what God made than your idea about yourself and who you
Tienes que
think you
tener
are.
más fe en lo que Dios ha hecho que en lo que tú crees que has hecho. En el personaje que has creído ser.
So the first thing, so we want to shorten this. You see right here where you're jumping off the line, jumping out of your miracle impulses.
Entonces vas a lanzarte a los impulsos milagrosos.
And this can be directly experienced. You will directly experience this. So you join those light circles.
Y entonces vas a tener experiencias directas. Entonces te unes a los círculos de luz.
You will learn to be coached directly by Jesus.
Y vas a aprender por un entrenamiento dado directamente por Jesús.
Okay, you will be coached by him to show you exactly these denials.
Y entonces vas a ser entrenado por él para que veas exactamente estas negaciones,
Okay, because you can hear the voice. It's natural to you to hear that voice.
porque tú puedes escuchar esta voz, es natural para ti.
But until you've released a lot of desires, there's a lot of this mixed desires about hearing the voice.
Y entonces va a haber como mucha duda en que escuches esa voz.
So the first thing is you're going to ask for help
Lo primero que vas a hacer es pedir por ayuda.
and join with me in a moment of light. That's what he
Eh,
says.
Y eso es lo que él dice, y unirte en un instante de luz.
You must be determined to get the miracle because the ego is determined for you not to have it.
Tienes que estar determinado a tener tu milagro porque el ego va a querer que no lo obtengas.
You must follow 100%. That's the only way he can show you everything he needs to show you.
Y tienes que seguirlo 100% para que él te pueda mostrar lo que te tiene que mostrar.
And when you follow him, it is blocking the investment in driving into the dream bubble.
Y así vas a invertir la inversión que tienes en la burbuja del sueño.
You could look at guidance as his way of going, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Y porque vemos que esto es el despierta, despierta, despierta.
Okay, so you want to accept the immediate correction
Y entonces vas a aceptar la inmediata corrección
and get back in guidance. If you think you've taken the highway to hell off to the side,
y volver a la impulso milagroso. Sí.
if you're taking the highway to hell, then you just get your correction, get back in guidance.
Y entonces, si estás tomando la autopista al infierno, simplemente corrige tu rumbo
See,
y
God,
vuelve a la guía.
guidance is going to keep you up. That's why the ego doesn't want to do guidance, because it's going to keep you in alignment with miracle impulses.
Por eso es que el ego no quiere que te alinees con los impulsos milagrosos.
But at first, that doesn't feel good, because remember, the ego decided to make miracle impulses and everything about God feel terrible. It's something bad's going to happen.
Y en un principio no va a ser tan chévere, pero porque el ego ha hecho que todo lo que tenga que ver con Dios y los impulsos milagrosos sean algo malo.
So let's just say you're sitting down with Jesus. I want a miracle, but no miracle's coming.
Entonces, vamos a decir que tú te sientas con Jesús y que quieres un milagro y los milagros no llegan.
Well, the other thing you'll learn in the light circles is that he's got to tell you whether you had a miracle or not.
Y entonces, otra cosa que aprendemos en los milagros es que Él te muestra cuando obtienes el milagro.
Because the ego's tricky. It can pretend like it had a miracle.
Porque el ego es tramposo y va a creer que obtuviste el milagro.
So you'll learn to ask him, did I get a miracle? Yeah, Jesus, can I have a miracle?
Y entonces aprendes a preguntarle, ¿puedo tener un milagro? ¿Ya obtuve el milagro?
It's illuminating when you hear no. It's like, no.
Es iluminador cuando escuchas no.
Not that you can't have one. He just knows somewhere you don't want one.
No
So
es
he's
que
going
no
to tell
puedes,
you.
sino simplemente que no quieres.
Okay. So if there's no miracle, this is so helpful. See this little, remember from Lord of the Rings, Gollum, and he'd go, precious.
Entonces, ¿recuerdan
Schmeagol with the ring.
Schmeagol del Señor de los Anillos que decía mi precioso, mi precioso?
Okay. So you can be 100% sure that if you're not finding peace,
Y tú puedes estar 100% seguro que si no encuentras paz,
and there's delay to the miracle,
entonces aún está ¿what?
that there's delay in getting the miracle,
Entonces estás retrasando el milagro.
that you are, there's a treasure, you're treasuring the desire down there and going, this is a great idea.
Y entonces hay una parte de ti que está diciendo que esto es una gran idea, como un tesoro.
Okay, there's a treasure in the experience of hell.
Es un tesoro en la experiencia del infierno.
It is so illuminating when you go down there and you go, oh my God, I really like this. I like this. Hell.
Es muy iluminador cuando voy profundamente y veo, sí, en verdad me gusta, me gusta.
You know, and you'll see the Gollum going like this down there. Up here, it'll be on, oh, this is terrible. I'm so in pain. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Y entonces, y ver que el Gollum ahí debajo, y ver que decimos, esto es terrible, es terrible.
You know, like today, Lina was looking at a pain in her back.
Por ejemplo, Lina hoy tenía dolor en su espalda.
And so we were talking about, okay, so Jesus taught me, instead of focusing on the pain, go down and see if you can find how much you actually relish the pain, you desire it.
Entonces, miramos con Jesús y le dije, mira, debajo del dolor.
Well, first of all,
Entonces, muestra que debajo del dolor hay gusto por ese dolor, que hay mucho gusto por ese dolor.
you know, first of all, it's so sticky to experience that pain because we like it so much.
Y en primera instancia es muy pegajoso ese gusto.
That as you get going down with Jesus a couple of times here, she was willing to look under the pain and start looking under there.
Y
Take the covers off.
Y entonces ella lo que hizo fue ir debajo del dolor.
And she could see that she liked it.
Y ella vio que le gustaba.
It's a watershed. We go, holy smokes, I am generating this stuff.
Y dices, santo humo, yo estoy generando esto.
But when you go deep enough, you'll see the happiness is this need not be. You'll see, I don't have to choose that anymore.
Y la felicidad es, esto no tiene por qué ser así. No tengo por qué elegir esto nuevamente.
So the block to the miracle is there's a misperceived benefit of whatever's experienced. There's an actual belief and a benefit in the pain.
Y el bloqueo de los milagros es creer que hay un beneficio, que obtengo un beneficio de este dolor.
If you want to have a full experience of the course, ask Jesus to show you what benefit you think you're getting out of pain.
Entonces, si tú quieres experimentar el curso, pregúntale a Jesús
in the subconscious mind.
que te muestre cómo te gusta el dolor en tu mente subconsciente.
It's like your hair gets blown back when you see that there's some idea that pain actually will get you peace or happiness or salvation.
Y cuando te das cuenta que crees que el dolor te genera paz o salvación o felicidad.
But you'll see once you have him show you that you can never get peace, happiness, or love through that.
Pero cuando te das cuenta que en verdad no puedes obtener ni paz ni felicidad de esto.
You'll see you have the power to drop it like a hot potato.
Y que te das cuenta que tienes el poder de soltarlo como una papa caliente.
So the power is in the joining to look at these things.
Entonces el poder está en la unión para mirar esto.
That's where all the power is.
Para eso es el poder.
The joining to look, and through your brother, you'll see it. You'll start hearing messages from Jesus through your brother. It's beautiful.
Y comienzas a escuchar mensajes de Jesús a través de tu hermano. Es muy hermoso.
Joining is the major assignment from A Course in Miracles.
La unión es la mayor asignación de un curso de milagros.
He uses the word join or joining 400 times in the Course in Miracles.
Él usa la palabra unirse, unir 400 veces en el curso de milagros.
When he says it's an individual course,
Cuando él dice es un curso individual,
what he means is you need responsibility to accept the correction in the miracle for yourself.
tú tienes que, significa que tienes que aceptar los milagros por ti mismo.
And your brother's function is to show you where you do not want miracles.
Y el trabajo de tus hermanos es mostrarte dónde tú no quieres los milagros.
Where you're mad, where you're angry, where you want to kill somebody, all that stuff.
Dónde estás molesto y dónde quieres matar a alguien y todas estas cosas.
So it can be healed through forgiveness.
Para que pueda ser sanado a través del perdón.
So how do we move from
Entonces, ¿cómo nos movemos
this
de
deep sleep, complete unawareness of miracles, and just total state of dreaming?
Entonces, ¿cómo nos movemos de este sueño que estamos completamente dormidos?
Okay. Well, it's willingness, your willingness to allow the Course in Miracles to come into your awareness.
Entonces es voluntad, la voluntad de permitir que llegue el curso de milagros a tu conciencia.
I'm asking anyone who takes a Course in Miracles kind of has an idea that something's not working here.
Cada estudiante del curso tiene la idea de que algo no está funcionando aquí.
you know, I remember reading that book going, there's something right about this, but could this really be true?
Yo me acuerdo cuando leí el curso y decía, hay algo que está correcto aquí en esto, pero ¿en verdad esto es cierto?
So he's really clear on this point. Do you want me to say yes, Jesus?
Este fue muy claro en este punto.
Because it's for me. Whatever I say is for me to
Porque
celebrate.
todo lo que digo es para mí, es la celebración.
You cannot understand A Course in Miracles by discussing it.
No puedes entender el curso a través de la discusión.
You will never get the Course in Miracles by discussing it.
Tú nunca vas a obtener lograr entender el curso de milagros a través de la discusión.
The way you will get A Course in Miracles is to have that direct experience with Jesus of going down and seeing where you don't want miracles.
La única forma que entiendas el curso es que vayas con Jesús en tu mente subconsciente y mires que no quieres los milagros,
Which comes through joining.
que viene a través de la unión.
And then accepting the assignments that he gives you 100%.
Y luego aceptar la guía 100%.
So this is where right here, so you start miracles and following. It's like you have no idea what you're getting yourself into it, but you know.
Entonces esto es como comenzar a seguir los milagros.
You may think you're dying and all this stuff like I did. I thought the devils were going to get me in the starting point.
Y hubo un punto donde yo creía que el diablo me iba a coger.
I talked about it, I was going to the hospital, all this kind of stuff, because
Incluso he hablado de una vez tuve que ir al hospital.
you're releasing so much subconscious tension, right? And I thought, oh, I'm having a heart attack.
Porque uno libera mucha tensión. Y pensé que me iba a dar un ataque al corazón.
This is why the mighty companions are so important, because you can, you know, if I joined with the mighty companion, I would have realized that no, I mean, now I can talk to Jesus direct. That's the best one.
Entonces, ahí es donde necesitas tus compañeros milagrosos, porque si yo hubiera tenido un compañero milagroso, me hubiese dado cuenta de que no era eso.
Look,
Pero aún mejor tener a Jesús que nos lo diga directamente.
so we can all hear him. You can ask him whether I really needed to go to the ER.
Entonces, todos pueden preguntar, ¿yo tenía que ir a cuidados de urgencia?
Jesus was Kay holding on to something, or she was just releasing, and then the interpretive function comes in and messes with it.
Entonces, pregunten, ¿Kay estaba reteniendo algo o lo estaba liberando? Y luego viene la interpretación.
Okay, so this is the crack in the door right here. This start miracles. You're letting a little light in, right? We're letting a little bit of light in.
Entonces ahí ves una pequeña luz.
Okay, so you know you're working through the course.
Entonces tú has estado trabajando en el curso.
And I'm thinking, I get to the end of the course. Jesus, aren't I done yet? You know.
Terminas el curso y dices, no he terminado.
Oh, not yet, grasshopper. I had a long way to go.
Y dice, no, aún, hay aún un largo camino.
Okay, but what happens is, see, there's selective hearing and following, selective miracles.
Y entonces aquí hay un seguir selectivo y unos milagros selectivos.
Okay, selective relationships were not fully going to full relationships.
Entonces, relaciones selectivas que no van a una full relación.
Okay, now I'm going to put us on pause just a minute here.
Entonces, un momento aquí voy a ponerlo.
And I'll be right back.
Y voy a volver.
Just a minute. Oh. Okay, we're back.
Volvimos.
This is good stuff. Okay, so let me go back and share screen.
Vamos a compartir la pantalla.
Okay. All right. So we're back at miracle, the middle part. This is really important to talk about this selective hearing and following.
Entonces aquí es muy importante ver el seguir selectivo y el escuchar selectivamente.
Because this is like the hardest part of the journey right here, because there's so many mixed subconscious desires.
Porque esta es la parte como compleja, porque hay mucha mezcla de los deseos.
And I'm asking Jesus about it.
Y le estoy preguntando esto a Jesús.
You know, yeah, there's so many, and you really need your mighties during this time to help you hear clearly.
Y ahí es donde necesitas a tus compañeros para que te ayuden a escuchar claramente.
This is why, you know, so many course students, oh, I've been in the course for 30 years or such a long time. We're not judging that.
Y por eso es que hay estudiantes del curso que llevan 30 años y cosas como estas, y no es que lo estemos juzgando.
But you see, if you're talking to Jesus, it's a major collapse of time, because you just go after one miracle after another with him.
Porque esto es colapsar el tiempo, es ir un milagro tras otro milagro con él.
And see, in this stage where there's a belief in order of difficulty of miracles, and you fight the miracles, and you're not 100% following.
Y hay un estado donde peleas con los milagros, crees que hay grado de dificultad en los milagros.
See, whenever we don't follow, it's a desire to feel weak.
Porque cada vez que lo seguimos es el deseo de sentirnos débiles,
You know, it's a desire to feel limited.
el deseo de sentirnos limitados.
Whenever we don't accept a miracle immediately, it's a desire for weakness.
Pues cada vez que no aceptas el milagro inmediatamente es el deseo de la debilidad.
So this is where the greatest time gets spent with the course, in not following and not talking to him directly 100% of the time.
Y ahí es donde no quieres escucharlo el 100% del tiempo.
You know, and partial following.
Y es seguirlo parcialmente.
Okay, because there's still a lot of subconscious desires for things of the world that are other than holiness.
Porque aún hay ciertos deseos que quieres en el mundo que en lugar de la santidad.
You know, and there can be some very you cannot transcend this world without God being your one goal. It just can't happen.
Y no puedes trascender este mundo hasta que Dios no sea tu único objetivo. Eso no puede pasar.
Because the split desires over here are always going to keep you in an experience of hell, even though the ego is going to go, oh, this is a great deal.
Porque estos deseos divididos, aunque el ego nos diga que es un gran negocio, nos va a mantener en el infierno.
So it's really a deep turning in to go, okay, show me, show me, show me, Jesus.
Entonces es un gran giro al muéstrame, muéstrame, Jesús.
And consistency with the looking, that's what collapses time.
Y consistencia en el mirar, eso colapsa el tiempo.
And this not in following, and it takes, because of the mixed desires, your hearing of him, it's going to be spotty. It's not going to be clear.
No va a ser claro, sino
100.
no
It'll be clear sometimes.
Va a ser claro algunas veces.
But I'm going to talk about what if you want to hear him 100%.
Pero si tú lo vas a querer escuchar un 100%.
The only way to hear him, you can hear him because Helen heard him well.
Y usted lo puede escuchar porque Helen lo escuchaba bien.
But it doesn't do any good to hear him unless you follow him 100%, so he can lead you out.
Pero entonces tienes que escucharlo y seguirlo 100% para que él te saque de aquí.
So I'm just being, I'm asking him if it's okay. There's so much love in this. There's so much love in this.
Estoy
What he's
preguntando, hay
saying.
mucho amor en esto.
You know, we asked him to help us out. Now he's coming in and he's just saying, look, he's so direct.
Y entonces nosotros le pedimos que viniera y él ha venido y nos está guiando directamente.
You cannot keep two worlds. It
No
doesn't
puedes
work.
mantener dos mundos, eso no puede ser así.
So it's really when the mind finally starts going, and it takes some convincing because we just believe world is heaven.
Es ahí donde la mente comienza a cambiar, pero exige mucho convencimiento porque la mente cree que el mundo es el cielo.
You know, but you're kind of stuck in specialness. In the dark night, people think, oh, I'm having my dark night, I'm coming through it. No, the dark night it's long before you actually will really start healing.
Entonces, va a comenzar mi noche oscura del alma, pero no es así.
Jesus told me directly, if you're experiencing, it's dark night is specialness. I'm just going to say it.
Y voy a decir lo que Jesús me dice que la noche oscura del alma es especialismo.
It's a strong belief in order of difficulty of miracles.
Es una fuerte creencia en el grado de dificultad de los milagros.
Do we not think that a miracle is more powerful than any experience in consciousness?
No creemos que un milagro sea más poderoso que cualquier experiencia en la conciencia.
Or that Jesus would not help us so that we
O que Jesús no nos pueda ayudar,
would not have to experience a dark night of the soul?
que no necesitamos experimentar la noche oscura del alma.
I'm asking if we can ask him if he experienced a dark night of the soul. Let's ask him.
Preguntémosle, what if he?
Did Jesus experience a dark night of the soul? Ask him.
Preguntémosle a Jesús si él experimentó la noche oscura del alma.
No, because when the devil came to went to him in the desert, he didn't sit down and have tea with the devil. He told the devil to get
Entonces,
quote scripture.
Porque cuando el diablo vino a tentarlo en el desierto, Jesús no se tomó un té con el diablo. Simplemente le dijo, what did he say?
He quoted scripture to the devil. You know, it's not true. You know, get out.
Sal de aquí que no eres verdad.
You know, some people say that, you know, the crucifixion was a dark night of the soul. No, it was not.
Y algunos dicen que la crucifixión fue la noche oscura del alma, y no fue así.
Man, there's no way to say how happy Jesus was on that cross. He's joyful.
No fue así. No se imaginan lo feliz que fue Jesús en esa cruz.
I and the Father are one. He was completely in the beyond the miracle, actually. Jesus beyond the miracle is just like in the total celebration. This ain't true. This world ain't true.
Era más allá de los milagros. Jesús estaba más allá de los milagros. Era uno con el Padre.
So it takes a lot of looking to clear out this selective hearing, a lot of clearing of desires.
Mucha clarificación de deseos para tener consistentemente esta.
And a lot of following to build that trust in the relationship with him.
Y seguirlo para construir esta relación con Jesús, esta relación de confianza con
But
Jesús.
he told me directly the speed at which you transcend.
Y él me lo dijo directamente, la rapidez con que trasciendas
is directly proportional to your willingness to completely turn over your mind to Christ's control.
Está relacionada completamente con el darle el control al Cristo de la mente.
So then he can just show you everything. When you start saying, okay, give it to me, Jesus.
Y para que él nos pueda mostrar, y entonces comenzamos a decirle, Jesús, dámelo.
See, this miracle mind, this is where it's even before miracle. The real healing begins when you start to say, I don't care what it takes, I'm going to see everything.
Y la verdadera sanación comienza cuando decimos, voy a admitirme los milagros, no me importa lo que me amerite.
Okay, because it takes a lot of looking. You want to get to the point where miracle mindedness is being unwilling to accept anything other than miracles.
Y porque requiere mucho tiempo para say again, please.
Miracle mindedness is being willing to have anything other than a miracle. Nothing is the only thing accepted is a miracle.
La mentalidad milagrosa es la que no admite nada que no sea un milagro.
So it's just accepting nonstop expressions of love.
Es la aceptación de no aceptar nada que no sea una expresión de amor.
And if a twitch comes up in your mind, then you're willing to look at it with Jesus to clear it to a miracle fast.
Y entonces, si hay alguna molestia, la miras con Jesús para que sea rápidamente liberada.
But this is the key thing he's saying, and I can see it, that leads to the miracle mindedness.
Y aquí está la clave para la mentalidad milagrosa.
This is where the real healing begins.
Aquí es donde comienza la real sanación.
Does it mean that all these other things is helpful, and any miracle you can get is healing? It doesn't, to say here where the real healing begins, it doesn't minimize these other opportunities to heal.
Entonces decir que aquí comienzan los milagros no quiere decir que no se pueden aceptar los milagros.
But it's like, you're in a prison down here.
Y entonces es que tú estás aquí abajo en una prisión.
And you're giving Jesus like a little crack to slide a meal through. You're in the dark part of the prison, the light's on the other side, and you crack it open and he can slip some little thing in there to teach you.
Entonces tú estás totalmente sumergido en esta oscuridad y entonces le das como una pequeña entrada a Jesús para que te enseñe.
When you say, yes, I'm going to seek the last unanswered question, when you say unequivocal yes to that.
Y cuando tú dices sí a la última pregunta no contestada.
Am I willing to see what's denied because it's true?
Estoy dispuesto a aceptarla.
Am I willing to see what has been denied because it's true?
Estoy dispuesto a ver lo que he negado porque es la verdad.
In other words, am I willing to see that I have been denying myself the truth?
La otra forma de decirlo es, estoy dispuesto a ver que me he negado la verdad.
And to see everything. Am I willing, when you're
Y
willing to
todos.
see everything, he will show you.
Y cuando tú dices esto, todo se te será mostrado.
Then it takes time, but your rocket ship takes off.
Y entonces, de lo contrario, requiere tiempo y tu cohete está parado.
Because he can really, everything you're following, so every experience becomes one in which he can help you unlearn the world.
Y él te puede enseñar a desaprender del mundo.
But it takes tremendous trust and faith.
Pero requiere tremenda fe y confianza.
Okay, because there's so many mixed desires in there.
Porque hay un mix completo de deseos ahí.
And you got to trust him that he knows the order of things for you to look at as well, to make it gentle.
Pero él sabe cuál es el orden de que debes mirar esos deseos para hacerlo de una manera gentil.
Our job is this.
Nuestro trabajo es este.
But we're kind of down here, we're kind of tiptoeing with divinity. This is where most course students are, right in here.
Y aquí es donde están muchos de los estudiantes.
He's just direct about it. The greater majority of course students will not make that 100% listening, 100% following step.
Y entonces dice que la gran mayoría de los estudiantes del curso no están escuchando y no están siguiendo la guía.
Okay, this sounds really good, Jesus, but it's a part-time job. Forgiveness is not a part-time job. It just, for transcendence.
Y le decimos, mira, Jesús, sí, esto está como bien, pero esto es un trabajo parcial, pero para seguir a Jesús es un trabajo full.
But once the mind just hones in on it, it's like, whatever it takes,
Lo que me requiere,
whatever you ask me, Jesus,
lo que me pida Jesús.
That's really where, because even with that, it still takes, I kept asking, where is the supreme happiness, Jesus, for crying out loud? Because haven't I been following you, Jesus?
Y porque yo
Go,
estaba
yeah.
siguiendo a Jesús, y ¿dónde está la suprema felicidad?
Am I following you 100%, Jesus?
Yo te estoy siguiendo 100%.
But for a time, you have to clear, there's a lot of asteroid belt in there.
Porque por un tiempo vas a darte cuenta que hay aún un cinturón de asteroides.
And
ahí.
then is it clear, then there just is this joy and this happiness, the celebration, it's no longer blocked from awareness.
Y entonces esta celebración ya no va a ser un momento donde no va a ser bloqueada a la conciencia.
Okay, and then you keep clearing and you clear until you go, we go until you tells you. You're
Entonces,
done.
nosotros decimos, tú tú vas hasta donde él te diga, hasta donde te diga que está completo.
Okay, so in some it just seems like, okay, you wake up and you realize that you're whole, and it's an end point like that.
Algunas tradiciones dicen que como que llegas y despiertas y como que hay un punto final.
Jesus has an entirely different plan.
Jesús tiene un plan totalmente diferente.
His plan is you go forth, you're not awake until you're supremely happy.
Y el plan de Jesús es no vas a despertar hasta que seas completamente feliz.
Now, to me, that is a plan.
Para mí ese es el plan.
But all these subconscious desires to give ourselves hell and act like it's heaven,
Pero todos estos deseos subconscientes que nos demuestran que es el cielo cuando es el infierno.
And it's very illuminating, coached by Jesus. Yay.
Esto es muy iluminador, ser entrenado.
And then making him the enemy, as I
Y
said.
luego hacemos de él el enemigo.
God has to be the enemy.
Dios tiene que ser el enemigo.
In order to have an ego, you have to believe in order of difficulty of miracles.
Para tener el ego, tenemos que creer en el orden de dificultad.
You have to believe that you could not, in your power, give any idea of a dark night of the soul a boot.
Entonces, para que le puedas
From
dar
your
una
mind.
patada de tu mente a la idea de que hay una noche oscura del alma.
So it's not, ask him if it's necessary. So you can just say no.
Si es necesaria y escuche que no.
He'll go, this need not be.
Eso
Follow
no
me.
tiene por qué ser así. Sígueme.
So what are the mantras to get back on this miracle, the miracle loop, back in the loop, we call it?
Entonces, este es el mantra para volver a la
In the miracle, what does it take to get back in the bucle?
El bucle de los impulsos milagrosos.
Okay. Miracle impulse loop, so you're just like in your joy. That's your identity. This is your identity. This
Esta es tu identidad.
joy.
Gozo.
God he doesn't have other things in heaven besides happiness. It just,
Dios no tiene nada más allá que felicidad en el cielo.
okay. So you have to follow 100%. This is the plan. That's their curriculum.
Ese es el currículum. Tienes que seguirlo 100%.
Because not following is investing in the dream bubble.
Porque no seguirlo es invertir en la burbuja del sueño.
That means what he tells you, his timing.
Por eso él te va a decir sus tiempos.
Where to go, everything to say, what to do.
Te va a decir qué hacer, a dónde ir.
And at first, like my experience, I was not cheering about that.
En mi experiencia, a mí no me gustaba eso.
But you'll see that the only way to see what he's trying to show you is to do it anyway.
Pero para que él nos pueda mostrar lo que nos tiene que mostrar es hacerlo de todas maneras.
And then 100% to make no exceptions to the immediate correction, be unwilling.
Es nos admitir algo que no sea una inmediata corrección.
And then if the ego tells you this is too extreme or impossible, then you show the ego Jesus.
Y entonces, si el ego te dice que esto es imposible, le muestras el ego a Jesús.
Somebody says, I got a big devil, and then somebody else says, I got a bigger God.
Entonces, algunos dicen, tengo un gran diablo, pero otros dicen, pero tengo un Dios más grande.
In a new covenant, he says, you believe you're weak.
En un nuevo convenio dice, tú eres débil.
He says, you
Tú crees que eres débil.
don't believe you're strong.
Tú no crees que seas fuerte.
Thus, you must rely on my strength.
Por eso tienes que confiar en mi fortaleza.
And that is so true.
Y eso es
So
muy
true.
cierto.
Okay. So that's kind of like in a nutshell, it can't go anywhere else except 100%.
Y no podemos ir a ningún lado si no seguimos 100%.
And every step on the way, every twitch, every denial of a miracle to jump to join, to look, I'm going to clear that, I'm going to clear that, I'm going to clear that.
Y entonces cuando hay alguna pequeña molestia me uno y clarifico eso,
Okay. And really know and admit that you cannot hear him well. You can hear him. There's no doubt about that. You wouldn't be here if you couldn't.
Que no estarías aquí si no pudieras escucharlo, que tú lo puedes escuchar.
But willing to follow that joining the guidance worksheet so that you can see where you don't want to be clear.
Pero entonces cuando sigues la hoja de trabajo te puede mostrar dónde quieres ser claro.
This big phase right here where there's selective hearing and following, the ego is going to tell you to do something and then talk about afterward how much you learned from it.
Y escuchar y mirar selectivo.
It is tricky.
Es muy engañoso.
It will tell a big story about it and it wouldn't have been guidance. So you want to really be clear on guidance.
Y porque puede estar diciéndote que está en guía cuando no está en guía.
So
Tienes que ser muy claro en la guía.
This is not to make you fearful. It's to encourage you to be vigilant.
No es para hacerte miedoso, es para invitarte a ser vigilante.
Okay, so here's some key questions.
Aquí hay unas preguntas que son importantes.
Okay, this is where you start to go, you're getting close to saying, yes, I'm going to see all of it.
Voy a mirar todos.
This is where you're starting to be willing to really start seeing all of it. Everything he would show you.
Aquí es donde comienzas a estar dispuesto a ver todo lo que nos va a mostrar.
This question becomes your mantra right here.
Esta pregunta se vuelve tu mantra.
What is most helpful right now to heal my mind?
¿Qué es lo más útil ahora mismo, Jesús, para la sanación de la mente?
Okay. You would go through I'm just gonna say it because he's saying it and it's for me.
Lo voy a decir porque esto es para mí.
You're willing to look at every relationship you have to see which ones are given by him for healing your mind. Which ones?
Entonces vas a estar dispuesto a mirar cada una de tus relaciones para ver cuáles de estas te han dado para la sanación de la mente.
And which ones are not.
Y cuáles no.
And you're willing to ask him, am I following guidance 100%?
Y estar dispuesto a preguntar, ¿estoy siguiendo la guía 100%?
As the beings are finding that are coming into the light circles,
y hay algunos seres que vienen a los círculos de luz.
Many of them did not realize how well they could speak to Jesus beforehand.
Y de antemano no saben incluso lo mucho que pueden estar escuchando a Jesús, que están escuchando a Jesús.
But they will all tell you it's a very natural conversation. Does anybody
son conversaciones muy naturales.
send me something in the chat if it isn't, but I
Alguien dijo en el chat que no son así, pero sí lo son.
So you can have this kind of open conversation with him.
Y entonces puedes tener estas conversaciones abiertas con él.
Am I following 100% Jesus?
¿Te estoy siguiendo 100% Jesús?
Okay, and he might tell you no. Okay, then just show me where I'm not.
Entonces, quizás él te pueda decir no, y entonces le preguntas, ¿dónde no te estoy siguiendo?
If God and his kingdom
Y Dios y su reino
is your one goal, if supreme happiness is you're taking him at his word, he's going to lead you there.
Si el reino de los cielos es tu único objetivo, él te va a llevar allá.
And then you ask him, where am I not following guidance, Jesus?
Entonces, ¿dónde no estoy siguiendo la guía, Jesús?
Where am I trying to limit or change your plan for the atonement?
¿Dónde estoy tratando de cambiar tus planes para la expiación?
So helpful to have this conversation with him, and you can do it.
Muy útil tener estas conversaciones con él, y tú lo puedes hacer.
You know, if you're miracle minded, all you do is focus on miracles. One, I'm going to get a miracle, I'm going to get a miracle.
Y si tienes una mentalidad milagrosa, te vas a enfocar en los milagros y vas a decir, voy a obtener mi milagro, voy a obtener mi milagro.
So you join with your brother.
Entonces te unes con tu hermano.
And you have to have him tell you where you're not being honest.
Y debes permitir que él te diga dónde no estás siendo honesta.
Meaning we need him to show us where we're in delusion.
Lo que quiere decir que lo necesitamos a él para que nos muestre dónde nos estamos engañando.
Okay. And I mean, this is where you're riding the highway of heaven. Okay.
Y esto es donde estás manejando en la vía, en la autopista cielo.
You know, for those that want the highway to heaven, and
Para estos que quieren manejar en la autopista al cielo,
okay, it means an unequivocal, I am going to see everything.
debe haber un inequívoco, voy a ver esto, voy a ver todo esto,
I mean, whatever it takes.
lo que me requiera.
Because see, then the ego doesn't have any power over you because you've made the decision.
Porque te das cuenta que el ego no tiene ningún poder sobre ti porque tú tomaste esta decisión.
The ego only has power over you where you equivocate and kind of go back and forth.
Y el ego puede tener únicamente poder sobre ti cuando vas y vienes.
But if you go, you know, like Jesus did in the desert,
Como si tú vas como Jesús en el desierto.
and you know, the devil goes away. That's all he's showing in the desert. The devil goes away when you're clear that you don't want him.
Lo que él nos muestra es que el ego se desaparece cuando tú le dices que no lo quieres.
So it's 100% listen, speak, and follow the voice.
Y entonces es un 100% escuchar y seguir esta voz.
Miracle is a top priority.
Los milagros son nuestra prioridad número 1.
It's like, I'm going to get my miracle. I'm not spending any time not having a miracle on this.
Entonces voy a obtener mi milagro, no voy a admitir nada que no sea mi milagro.
And we talk about sweeping as you go.
Y hemos hablado de sweeping,
Sweeping as you go along, you're sweeping.
que vas barriendo a medida que tú vas en el camino.
Meaning
Significa
that you are fully, if he shows you something, don't hang out in hell. Just go for the miracle all the way until he tells you you're done.
Y si él te muestra algo, ve por el milagro hasta que él te diga que está completo.
This cannot be overemphasized
Esto no puede ser sobreenfatizado.
because the ego has a billion ways of all the reasons why you can't have a miracle now that are untrue.
Porque el ego pues, va a decir millones de formas de por qué no puedes obtener milagro ahora.
So it becomes, at least the experience here became every opportunity I had. I looked at things with them, every opportunity.
Entonces esto se vuelve que
Show
cada
me.
oportunidad es Jesús muéstrame.
On the bus, cleaning dishes, every opportunity.
En el bus, lavando los platos, cada oportunidad.
Take a walk.
Caminando.
Well, can you show me, Jesus?
Muéstrame, Jesús, muéstrame.
Okay, can I look now, Jesus? I would ask him, can I look at this? How about this, Jesus? What about that? Sometimes he said no.
Debo mirar esto, Jesús, y a veces te va a decir no.
Because as soon as you realize it's changing your mind about these desires for hell experiences, you just jump on board with them. Like,
Y cuando inmediatamente te des cuenta que esto es sanar tu mente de,
as soon as you see that it's just accepting miracles, you're going to jump on board and get his help with every one of them.
Entonces, cuando te das cuenta que esto es aceptar simplemente los milagros, simplemente te metes a bordo.
Okay. And you're always looking at night. I'd run through my mind. Okay. Is there anybody that I haven't forgiven that that any kind of twitch in my mind?
Entonces, yo, por ejemplo, miro en mi mente con quienes he interactuado y que aún tenga algún twitch, alguna molestia.
I'd ask him if he showed me, were there any unholy feelings or relationships I had about anyone?
A ver si tengo algún no santo sentimiento o con alguien que no haya sanado.
And at night, I would just look. Night is a great time before you go to bed, and you just give me what I need to see, Jesus.
Y esta en la noche es una buena cosa que mirar antes de irnos a la cama. Muéstrame, Jesús.
So
que tengo que
that's the mind turning into going, I'm getting all the miracles. Every miracle I get bonus miracles if I get.
Y voy a obtener todos mis milagros y voy a obtener milagros bonos.
Say no to the ego, 100%, no exceptions. There can't be exceptions because you're saying.
Mirar los milagros sin excepciones, obtener los milagros sin excepciones.
See, every exception is skipping off the miracle impulse highway here.
Entonces, porque cada excepción es Saliendo del...
So you're going down in your mind with Jesus and going, is there anything left that I need to see? I want to be squeaky clean like a windshield.
Entonces voy con Jesús, solamente soy consciente y le digo, Jesús, hay una partecita pequeña que no haya limpiado y lo voy a limpiar completamente.
See, and then you don't mess around, you just get your miracle.
Y simplemente no vas a perder más tiempo y vas a obtener tu milagro.
Okay. You get your miracles.
Obtén tu milagro.
Right, Jesus? Let's ask him. Jesus.
Jesús.
Okay, so we're gonna, let's change the view here. Can I change it? So we
Ahora
see
vamos a
everybody
cambiar
out
esto.
there in the gallery.
Ahora sí,
Woohoo!
vamos a ver a todos en la galería.
Okay. And we can all hear Jesus.
Todos podemos escuchar a Jesús.
So we want to have, if you listen to him, because remember, in these circles, we're always practicing hearing and speaking.
Y todos lo pueden escuchar porque en los círculos estamos practicando el escuchar y el hablarlo.
Okay, so you want to, if he prompts you to say something, or you can ask a question, that's good too.
Y si están invitados a decir algo, lo pueden hacer o si tienen alguna pregunta.
The floor is open to holiness.
Está abierto a la santidad.
And you can say if you had twitches over anything, I said.
Puedo también decir que si pueden decir si tienen alguna molestia acerca de esto.
Good evening, everybody.
Hola.
Hola.
Jesus is showing me something about this meeting, okay? He's telling me that share with you some experience for today where I could see about the miracles in Pulse. Okay. Someone invited me for some special reunion. Okay. And I asked Jesus first. Is going to be for healing my mind? Is something like religious?
Okay, can you pause a minute, or do you want to translate yourself, or do you want Maria to do it?
Yes, yes. Okay, quería compartir algo. Jesús me muestra que lo comparta. Temprano, bueno, unos días me invitó una persona a una reunión. Era una reunión religiosa que la veía en la luz. Para mí no hay un significado, pero para la persona que me invita era importante. Así, le pregunté a Jesús si era útil para la sanación de la mente y él me dijo que sí. This morning, around 5 o'clock, I stayed at the place. And then I watched the meeting, I listened to the meeting. And Jesus showed me many beautiful things in order to healing my mind and how to see my brothers and sisters that are one with me. Jesús me mostró allí que nuestra función es en realidad sanar y mirar a mis hermanos en la luz, porque en realidad somos uno. I felt and I see and I thought many things that Jesus showed me through the vision. But it was so beautiful, and I reconciled with all my old judgment. And Jesus said, everybody believes that can get outside about themselves, but you are not here for judge. You are here for looking everyone in the light. It was beautiful because it doesn't mean about the situation, it's about the thoughts, how Jesus showed me. Jesús me mostró que mi función allí no era juzgar, y él me habló acerca de cómo allí sencillamente lo que teníamos que hacer era sanar nuestra mente, y que era una búsqueda afuera de lo que somos en realidad, de lo que soy en realidad. Más allá de la experiencia, de lo que viví, fue lo que pude ver a través de la visión. Y se sintió tan hermoso porque tiene que ver con eso, con aceptar los impulsos milagrosos, con reconocernos en la luz, reconocernos en la unidad y permitir que esa luz llegue a nuestra mente. Everything that I understand about this one is that we must accept our divine being and accept our function, not for judgment. Just try to do what we must do, that Jesus showed us. For me, it was peaceful, very peaceful for me. That's all that I want to share. Sí, fue algo que me dio mucha paz. Es algo muy hermoso que hablaba acerca de nuestra divinidad del ser. Y eso es todo lo que quería compartir. That's all.
And
Is that Renee? Oh, or is that
he
Patty?
just keeps, yeah.
Okay.
It's just showing me how he's making a way and how practical it is. It's so direct and it's so practical.
Jesús me está mostrando que es muy directo,
yeah,
muy práctico.
And yeah, just thank you for this presentation.
Gracias por esta presentación.
And this invitation to keep joining.
Y por la invitación a seguir manteniéndonos
Supreme
unidos.
happiness.
Y por la suprema felicidad.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you, Renee. You know, we're so blessed to have these mighty companions with us.
Somos muy bendecidos de tener estos poderosos compañeros con nosotros.
I'm just talking to Jesus about how, you know, there's so many mixed desires of wanting the course, kind of, but not really wanting it, the curriculum.
Estoy hablando con Jesús y me muestra cómo hay esto de que queremos el curso, pero que no tan, por
Mhm.
alguna parte no queremos el currículum.
But it really is surrendering to boy, that sounds, the ego doesn't like the word surrender. But
Al ego no le gusta la palabra rendirse.
it's accepting his curriculum. It's his.
Es aceptar su currículum, su
That-
currículum.
He truly is the way, the life.
Que Él es el camino a la luz.
And he's the way for us to see we are the way, the truth, and the life.
Y que Él es el camino para que nosotros veamos la verdad en la luz.
And that this is such a deep opportunity for course students to live the course through the direct experience with him.
Y esto es una oportunidad maravillosa para los estudiantes de un curso de milagros para que dejen el curso y vivan la experiencia con él.
You know, he's just saying, put the text down and live the course, live it with me in your heart, you know?
Y él dice, pon el texto a un lado y vive el curso, lleva el curso a tu corazón.
He's saying reading the course, it won't help you. It will not help you.
Leer el curso no te ayudará.
He's saying, let me show you where you don't want the lessons to be true.
Déjame te muestro donde no quieres que las lecciones
the-
sean verdad.
That's the morning light circles. I'll show you. The willingness is to be shown.
Entonces esos son los círculos de la mañana, es la voluntad para que nos sea mostrado.
You know, I'm talking to him how the complete Course in Miracles has been co-opted by just reading the book instead of actually just talking to him.
Y vemos cómo estamos coercionando el curso para solo la lectura y no a la experiencia con él.
You know, the book is just the launching point for that conversation.
Y el libro, el curso solo es el punto de partida para la conversación.
That's all a new covenant is just reminder that, you know, it's just an ordinary conversation. You'll see it more and more. I know many of you already experience it. It's just a conversation with him.
Entonces, el Jesús un nuevo convenio muestra eso, que es tener simplemente una conversación muy natural, muy normal con él.
But once, you know, you see how much you fight the miracle and you just stop it, just say, I'm not fighting this anymore. There's nothing to fight.
Porque no hay nada con que pelear y entonces tienes que parar esa pelea.
You know, and you'll see that once your mind locks down on the last, this is the only thing for me. It's only thing for me on that last unanswered question.
Y cuando tu mente la cierras solo a la única pregunta no contestada,
All you'll see is how powerful that your mind is, that this need not be, and you can choose that miracle. You have the power. The power has always been yours.
y te das cuenta que el poder siempre ha sido tuyo y sí, que el poder siempre ha sido tuyo.
You know, and then at first it seems like, well, it's helpful to see that secondary gain, how you want it to be something, you know, some kind of treasure. There's some kind of hidden treasure in the subconscious mind about desires.
Y ver que hay este segundo juego en los deseos que crees que te dan algo.
But once you refuse order of difficulties and miracles, it's like, no, I'm going to get this miracle. I have all power to have it.
Y cuando te das cuenta que no hay grado de dificultad en los milagros y dices, voy a obtener este milagro y no importa qué, simplemente lo tienes.
You'll see that your mind will just go, you know, to the relishing. You know, you can bypass trying to secondary gain because you see there's no gain whatsoever in not a single desire experience. There's no gain in it. In truth.
En verdad no ganas ahí nada y en ese juego secundario no ganas nada.
And then it's just every opportunity. Okay, show me, and you just relish. You see the devil. Oh, I love it down there. Oh my God, I love this. Until
simplemente es ver el disfrute y ver el diablillo debajo de esto.
You become the jujitsu miracle worker. That's what a miracle, it's miracle minded. You just,
Entonces te vuelves un jiu-jitsu orador de milagros, que tiene una mentalidad milagrosa.
see, you're clearing out all the prayers for hell out of your subconscious mind with Jesus.
Y clarificas todos estos deseos de tu mente.
And you're just like, it's just, you hone in. Remember, we start out and he says, your mind is unfocused, you know, it's on all that.
Y él nos dice que nuestra mente está enfocada mal, erradamente.
You know, and then these light circles will train you to have the focus that you need to focus only on him and refuse all the other distractions from getting your miracle.
Y entonces lo que nos enseña es a enfocarnos en él y dejar todas las distracciones.
I mean, I was talking today about how the miracle is the only thing that's yours in this world that you can say is yours. In a
Lo
beautiful
único
way.
que puedes decir que es tuyo son los milagros.
It's already been given you by God. Just say yes.
Y esto ya ha sido dado por Dios y tú has dicho sí.
Be absolutely 100% determined. Look, I'm going to see what a miracle, I want to experience all that a miracle offers me.
Entonces voy a ver qué es el milagro y voy a ver qué me ofrece el milagro.
So that is never 1 second of my mind of value not to accept it.
Y no hay un segundo donde en tu mente que no los aceptes.
To delay it by 1 nanosecond, I will not delay it.
Donde no los vas a negar por un nanosegundo, ni por un nanosegundo.
You know, and I just, it's yours. The kingdom is yours.
El reino es tuyo.
So don't delay the following and the listening.
No demoren el escuchar y el seguir.
Believe the ego will give you hell over it, but you just because he does that doesn't mean you just still do it. You go for it. The ego's made to give you hell over everything. We wanted hell over everything.
Nosotros queremos el infierno por encima de todo esto.
But it's accepting the power you have to say no to all that.
Y es aceptar el poder de decirle no a todo eso.
Jesus, do I have the absolute power to say no to any kind of hell that's coming from the ego? Yes or no?
Jesús, tengo el poder de decirle no a cualquier cosa que venga del ego, ¿sí o no?
Sí. Sí. Okay. You know, we're holy. This is
Somos
holiness.
santos. Esto es santidad.
Here comes Lina. Okay, Lina, here we go.
Aquí viene Lina.
We're going to get a dose of love from Lina. Hold on. Let me change the camera over. Dose of divine devotion right here. Okay. I think the camera needs a little turning. Okay. Maybe, can you help with it? There we go. Hey, now we got it. Mhm.
Hola a todos, buenas
Hola.
noches.
Hola. Hi, everyone. Good night.
Bueno, yo estaba escuchando que Jesús está recomendando
I was hearing from Jesus and he recommends
que nos mantengamos uniéndonos constantemente,
that we keep joining us
constantemente,
constantly.
Porque el ego mete muchas resistencias,
Because ego likes to put a lot of resistances.
pero tenemos que darnos cuenta que no podemos ir a ningún lado más que mirar hacia adentro.
But we need to see that we cannot go anywhere, and we have to see. We have to come back to our self.
Yo recuerdo que al principio se sentía el cinturón de asteroides.
I remember that the beginning I felt the
Cinturón de asteroides.
the asteroids
Cinturón.
the asteroids belt.
Pero conforme vas mirando la mente subconsciente, te das cuenta que es un juego.
But when you see your unconscious mind, you realize that it's just a game.
Y Jesús se vuelve muy gracioso.
And Jesus turned very funny.
Y te das cuenta que lo único que estás liberando es energía.
And you see that all what you you are releasing is just energy.
Así es que permitirse mirar la mente subconsciente pese a lo que el ego me ofrezca.
And so to see our unconscious mind is here.
Pese o
Sí.
a pesar de lo que el ego me...
Whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
el ego me ofrece. Yo les aseguro que este es un camino que colapsa el tiempo.
No matter what the ego offers, this thing collapses the time.
Pero hay que mantenerse. El ego 1000 veces te va a decir, sal corriendo.
And but you have to stay. It's like ego, he offers run away,
Pero no hay a dónde ir.
but there's no place to where.
Porque una vez que comenzamos este camino no hay retorno.
Because when we start this path, we don't have return.
Así es que la recomendación es únete, únete. Para eso estamos.
That's the recommendation for is join, and we are here for that.
Y para eso es el grupo, para unirnos.
And also that is the group for.
Y no dejes pasar una sola oportunidad de sanación.
And don't let lose any opportunity to heal the mind.
Porque así te vas a volver el aprendiz feliz.
Because you are going to become in a happy learner with this.
Eso era lo que quería compartir.
And
Gracias.
that's why I want to share.
Oh,
Adiós.
gracias, Lina.
Bye.
It really is a direct experience. You know?
Es realmente una experiencia directa.
It takes a lot of looking, you know, it just does.
Requiere mucho mirar.
But he will take you home.
Él nos llevará a casa.
He will take you home.
Él nos llevará a casa.
This feels really beautiful. Anybody else before we go into some singing here?
¿Alguien más? Mientras luego vamos a una canción aquí.
Gracias, Lina.
Gracias. Thank you, Lina.
Okay, Lorrie, you want to fire up the band?
Yep. Entonces vas a aprender la banda, Lorrie.
Okay, we're going to get some spirit guided music here.
Tenemos aquí una música espiritual guiada.
You know, what Lina's pointing to while Lorrie gets everything set up here.
Mientras Lorrie pone aquí los equipos, voy a focalizarme en lo que decía Lina.
You know, you've heard, maybe some of you heard me talking about the popsicle stand. You know how little kids set up their little popsicle stands out front to sell popsicles?
Entonces está este lugar de las paletas de los niños.
And it seems like a really great thing. I'm selling my popsicle stand. I'm selling my popsicles.
Donde venden las paletas.
And then all of a sudden it's not going so well. And it's like, I'm blowing this popsicle stand. I'm out of here.
Entonces voy a volar esta estación de paletas. Me largo de aquí.
It loves that experience. That's Jesus. Just the ego love the experience of going, I'm out of here.
El ego le encanta esa experiencia. Me largo de aquí.
Screw all of y'all. I'm out of here. Does it love that?
Gritando.
Ego loves that.
El ego le encanta.
Look at Renee gets a jerk from Renee. So it loves that experience, and you will want to do that 1,000 times.
Y el ego le encanta eso. Y
I am out of here.
cientos de veces me largo de aquí.
You know, you and your little dog too, you know, Toto.
Tú y tu pequeño perro
I don't
también.
want to see you and your little dog too. Get out of here.
No quiero verte a ti ni tu pequeño perro. Me largo de aquí.
But you're more powerful than that. You must stand into it and be determined to see. Do not run off, hide under a couch, all the things that you don't want you to do.
Y tú te tienes que dar cuenta que eres más poderoso que eso y decir no.
All the habits over a lifetime, to hide from the truth.
Cualquier cosa que sea ocultarse de la verdad,
You just say, I'm going to see it.
voy a verlo.
I'm going to stand into it, see it.
Y voy a verlo y me voy a mantener y lo voy a ver.
That's the holiest place on earth.
Este es el lugar más santo en la tierra.
You'll see that you're the holiest place on earth.
Tú te das cuenta que tú eres lo más, más santo lugar en la tierra.
Okay, Lorrie, you're going to sing us out?
Entonces vas a cantarnos.
Yes, this is a song for when anybody might want to blow the popsicle stand.
Entonces esta es la canción para cuando alguien quiere volar la estación de paletas. La paletería.
Yes,
La paletería.
this song's for you.
Esta canción es para ti.
It's called The Holiest of Holies.
God is light. God is light. God is light. In me there is no darkness. God is the light in which I see. The sun shines together, dancing happily, rolling down a holy hill, on a downhill run to heaven. Kiss me 10,000 times from the inside.
Sing with me.
God is light. God is light. God is light. In me there is no darkness. God is the love in which I forgive me. A sunlit sunrise, sparkling golden tangerine. Walk out into pure sunshine. We are never alone. Happy, sweet dreams, joyful singing, blue jeans. Oh, oh, Ramana. Oh, Muji. Oh, Jesus, the holiest of holies. Oh, Ramana. Oh, Muji. Oh, Jesus, the holiest of holies.
this world are miracles.
Wow, thank you, Lori, so beautiful.
Gracias, Lorrie, muy hermoso.
Don't give up.
No renuncien,
Keep going.
manténganse.
Oh my
Thank you
gosh.
all.
Gracias a
Thank
todos.
you, beloveds.
Gracias.
Thank you, beloveds.
Love you all.
We're so worthy, so worthy, so much love, so much love.
Mucho amor, somos muy dignos, muy dignos.
Adios, beloveds.
Adiós.
Adios.
The upside down's a miracle. Go for the miracle.
Vamos por los milagros.
Go for the miracle. Willingness to miracles.
Yeah.
Yeah.